Alrighty, it says that we're live. It'll take a second for YouTube to
Hello.
catch it. It's gonna take a second for YouTube to catch up, but that's okay.
Okay. And we'll see the comments on the, but we should see the comments here.
Yes.
But that's okay.
Ooh,
Yeah, you gotta lower the volume or else we're gonna have echo.
Yes.
And I'm doing it too. I'm a jerk.
Yeah, you gotta lower the volume or else we're gonna have echo. Yes. And I'm doing it too. I'm a jerk.
I'm just gonna.
Lower the volume.
Technical difficulties already.
Hi,
I'm just gonna shut mine off. Because
Yes. Welcome to our first live stream. Warts and all. Just be patient with both of us right now.
Say hello if you're here with us. I can't see
John is
any comments on my iPad.
So Michelle Embry's here. Hey Michelle, that's my good friend Michelle.
Can we see the comments on this live stream?
You can. So on StreamYard, you should be able to see the comments. You should see either below like your video picture or on the side. You should be able to see comments. Because I can see them. Sorry guys, as you listen to us commiserate about comments.
I'm just trying to I have no idea. I can't see any comments.
So
but that's okay, Jill. I guess you're going to have to do the comment section because I can't see it on the iPad.
And I know you should be able to because I've done many of these. So I'll show you where to look. How's that sound?
It sounds good.
All right. So as everyone, we got 6 eyeballs. So we got people filing in.
Excellent. Say hi when you come on so that we know who's here.
Yes. And I'm just going to make sure that I want my all messages to be seen. Cool. Looks like we've got 8 people watching. So welcome to our first live stream. Here's hoping it's going to go better than when I did my test stream. Whoops.
Okay, I have my phone up, so I see Michelle's with us.
My buddy Keith.
Pragmagic.
Pragmagic, that is my good friend Keith. Hi, Keith.
Seacat.
Seacat and Metal.
Welcome.
And Metal Twister are from Corey's channel. Those are Bridge Buddies. Hi, guys. I'm so glad
Excellent.
you guys
Thank you guys for liking it.
We're excited. My friend, I've been on my buddy Keith's channel a bunch of times, and I messaged him going, Keith, dude, I totally get the struggle now.
It is a struggle.
Oh, my God. And I see Angela, which I believe, too, is another Bridge Buddy. So if you are from Corey's channel, please make sure you put it in Bridge Buddy if I don't see it right away, because I know most of the handles, but still, the live chat goes by so fast when I'm there with him. All right. So we figured tonight we're going to just start off where I'm going to just do a quick card pull for our stream tonight. I'm just going with a good old-fashioned angel deck tonight, nothing fancy, just to get the live stream going. And if you want, Deb, while I'm shuffling, if you just want to do a quick little intro of yourself.
Okay. So I am Debra and I am an intuitive energy practitioner. I am what I guess you would call a psychic medium, animal communicator. I work with spirit, I work with angels, I work with my intuition. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. Did you pull a card, Jill?
I did. Did you mention pet communications too?
I did. I said I am an animal communicator. Cool. And how that works is I can work with animals that are living, that have passed. I've done some pet recovery work, and typically how that works is people send me a nice picture of the face, and I can tune into that animal, dogs, cats, whatever you have, rabbits. And I work that way. So I tap into the animal. Most animals allow you to do the reading. There's been a couple that have been finicky and have decided that they didn't want to be read, so that happens as well. I do a lot of email readings, which I find very fun because there's nobody there that I can sort of gauge off of their responses, which is always, I prefer that. But yeah, it looks like Jill has a card, so she's going to give it to us tonight.
So yes, so for our collective, for our live stream tonight, the card that I got was "Do the Work," which is what Deb and I are doing right now. And of course, like in Deb, I take your directions, like hold it in front of my face. So this card is just, they're connected to earth, connected to source, whatever you call source, it doesn't matter. And all the energy swirling around his heart. Hey, Mrs. Johnson. And it's just, do the work internally to do the work externally. And it's taken a lot of work for this channel to get started. It's something I've wanted to do. Then I was sick and I couldn't get to do it. I tried convincing Deb and she thought I was nuts. She's like, what is that all about? So this took a lot. And over the last 4 or 5 weeks, we started it. We started uploading and worked really hard to finally get to the point where we could do our first live stream. And that is because our total as of tonight is 104 subscribers, which is amazing. So I just have to thank all my bridge buddies again, our friends and family that are supporting us. We couldn't have done this without you. So thank you so much. Which I believe we only have 7 more to go, and then we're going to give someone a free reading.
Yes, the idea is once we hit 111 subscribers who are following us, that we will then choose a winner from those subscribers and give out a free reading from Jill and I. Whether you come on here live and we do a quick reading for you, or we haven't thought that piece out too much, have we, Jill?
We've gone back and forth because we have to hit the 111 too. So we got we probably got a week or so, hopefully, to go before we decide. And it will be up to that person's choice. We could also just one night announce it, and you could put in the comments that you're interested, so that if there was someone that was not interested in a reading from us, they don't have to be part of the drawing.
Absolutely.
So most people know me either as Jill or Jilly Beans. Jilly Beans is where people know me from YouTube. A good friend of mine who unfortunately passed away, he actually gave me that nickname, and that's how people know me. So I'm just going with it now. I'm actually searchable as Jilly Beans on YouTube, funny enough. And I know. And I'm an intuitive card reader that studied under Deb. I dabble in astrology. I'm actually trying to get back into it because it's something I really enjoyed, but it requires a lot of study and brain power, and I had none of that last year. So I'm trying to get back into that again. And, we just, I do readings over text message, email, videos. I think I've done them every way possible. So that's just a little bit about me. And so this is where Deb and I are trying to be good about doing the YouTube spiel. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up because it helps in the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, turn on all notifications so that way we can hit our goal.
Yes.
So I think that's all the housekeeping stuff we had.
Yeah. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about tonight was why we don't do predictions. So for me personally, I don't feel like that is useful for the person that I'm sitting with. To tell somebody that their future is now out of their own hands, right? So if I give them a prediction, then it takes away the responsibility of the beholder. And we all have our own perception of how we interpret things through our own life experiences. So if we're as you know, we're sitting with our sitters, and if that person has a lot of trauma, a lot of turmoil going on in their life, they are going to receive that message from their own inner experiences. And now what I'm doing is I'm directing them into an area where they may not be ready to comprehend the actual meaning of that prediction. So I choose never, ever to give somebody a prediction. I feel like it takes away from the responsibility of that person. I feel like our experiences that we have in life will influence the way that it is received. And honestly, it takes away the power of the person that you're giving a reading to. And that is not something that I practice. I practice to empower people, not take away their power. So that's a little bit about why I don't do predictions.
And I agree with all of that. So I kind of go with that same school of thought when it comes to predictions. I never want to plant seeds into someone's head because that could fester and it won't serve them to be worried about a prediction, good or bad. You know, like if I predict they're gonna get married in a year, they're gonna come knocking on my door asking where's Prince Charming? I'm not married. And yes or no questions. You know, my belief is we have free will as souls here on this earth, living this human life. And, you know, something could look like it's going down a certain path, but if someone makes a choice, it turns it all around. So I like to stay out of that realm. So I don't do that definitive yes, no. And of course, no medical advice because we're not qualified for that. Sometimes I will say, though, I will get in a reading just a blip of it came up recently in one. I heard high blood pressure. So I asked the person I'm reading for, they did have a high blood pressure, and it was just more of a calling out, acknowledging to take care of themselves. I wasn't diagnosing them. I wasn't telling them how to manage their high blood pressure. It was just an acknowledgement of it. And that's about as far as I would go with anything medical. And that's kind of, Deb always said, which I love, is we're not here to save people. We're here to help them save themselves.
Yeah, so one of the things that, my desire for doing these is to help people, it's to give direction, navigation, reflection. I'm cheating with my notes here. Inspiration.
Don't worry about it.
These are things that, I desire to help my clients work through, giving them direction. When most people, when they want to sit with a reader, a psychic medium, whatever, get their cards read, they're looking for guidance. Most people want the answers, yes or no. Give me it. Like, tell me this is going to happen, when it's going to happen. No, 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 no. Let's dive in deep to what it is that's going on that's blocking you from getting exactly what it is you want. So by giving direction, reflecting on who we are and what is going on within us that may be not bringing us to where we want to be. Navigation. Yes, there's many choices. And that's what the cards sometimes reveal, that you could take many different paths. But I'll tell you this, no matter what path you'll take, you're going to get to your destination that you're supposed to. Guarantee. You may take over the mountain, through the woods, drowned in a river and come back out. Or you could just go, you could part the sea and walk right through it. So there's different avenues that are going to get you to that place, right? And those are the things that we want. And I want to inspire the people that I work with. We're not broken. We're not ruined. We are more than that,
We're
right?
not
So it's
damaged.
all about empowering you to stand in your worth, to stand in your own power and make those choices that are going to get you to where it is that you want to be. And by doing that, you need to reflect on who it is that you are and the things that are coming up for you that are blocking you. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the questions.
And a lot of it, that's what it is. Like when, people ask about cards, how, cards people think are always predictive, especially tarot. Like, let's face it, tarot is brutally honest. Tarot doesn't pull any punches. And a lot of times you don't have to use, like, people will think, oh, to read cards, I got to read for people and be this mystic and all this stuff. And it's really so much more than that. It can be used if you are a writer or an artist to move past a block.
Yeah.
Or you don't know where to go next. Sometimes it's just an affirmation or a confirmation or something to start your day with. I know for myself, I just shuffle cards as a way to stop fidgeting. I mean, I can't tell you how many
Well,
long
if you
lives.
remember, Jill,
Yeah.
when we first started working together and you took some of the classes, it was all about self-discovery, learning how
Yes.
to work with the cards for your own self-development before you can
Yes.
even work with other people. So that's what it's all about, is utilizing it as a tool. It's not
Yes.
the answer to life. It is a tool that we bring to the table, literally put it on the table, read those
Yeah,
cards.
seriously.
But it's a tool. And that's what we have to remember, that it's a tool for guidance to help us see clearer what we're avoiding, what we're, not willing to see or work through. The cards will help us do that if you ask the right questions.
And, my friend Keith's, tarot, some are more forgiving than others, and that is absolutely correct. Some are like, I have one that I love. It's the Pulp Tarot. It's light, it's airy, it's fun. Then there's other ones like that are going to be down dirty and they're just going to give it to you blunt. But that's my first year of working with Deb. When I did her first masterclass, it was all about me. It truly was. I was working through grief.
Well, it's
and
always
all
about you, Jill, anyways.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, well, come on. It is always about me. Yeah, the Homeric deck, right? I got that deck. It doesn't come out very often. It was about me at the time dealing with grief. Part of class was working with the other students. We had to do a phone reading, an email, and all that. But I had no intentions of reading cards for anybody. It really was just about working through my own stuff.
Self-discovery.
It was. And then the second time around is where it grew to be readings, still working on myself, but expanded out to doing readings for people and having spirit come in for the first time, which was interesting. I'll never forget.
That's always an interesting one.
That was and I was really scared of mediumship. And actually, funny enough, I had a conversation with Deb about mediumship because I was scared to death. And can I tell the story
Go ahead.
about
Tell the story.
Well, when I asked her about it, she told me how the Ghost Whisperer was a big show at the time with Jennifer Love Hewitt. And Deb was like, I totally want to see dead people. I totally want to do that. So she worked, got there, and realized she did not want to see dead people. And, and then I learned how to put boundaries up so that I don't have to see them like some people do right in front of them. But it helped me to, and that's part of classes too. It's just education, how to set those boundaries with spirit so that they're not so much in my face. They come in when I allow them to. And stuff. So
they
that
work with you the way that you need to work with them. Like that time that I did see, scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. And I was like, okay, thanks for showing me, but I don't want this anymore. So I had to set, a new boundary, a new contract with them. And and through that lesson, I discovered the way that worked well for me. And it's it's amazing how it works for me. Typically, when I start to sense spirit, it comes in as one of my loved ones. So say a grandmotherly figure was here. So I had a few different grandmothers that were in my life that had passed. So they'll show me different things and they'll highlight like a hair or the teeth. Jill and I with our cute little spaces, right?
Yes.
But they'll give me clues on how that other person can relate to the spirit that is here with me, and then it gets a little bit easier for me to do it that way. But yeah, that was scary
Well, I remember when I did my reading,
and interesting.
It was, yeah, I still see the shadows on the corner of my eye sometimes, but never like full blown in front of me, which I'm fine with. I have felt, especially when we were in lockdown, I can't tell you how many times I felt like I almost stepped on someone, to the point where I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," realizing I'm alone and that there's really no one. They were just all around a lot.
Practical magic.
I love you,
We
Keith.
are
You're
made from the
fantastic.
same little Italian mold.
And it's funny because we are the same height. When we met in person, we were both like, "You're so short."
Actually, I think I was a little taller, Jill.
Maybe with your hair. That's about it.
I know it's,
But yeah, we were
an
like,
80s girl. I can't get rid of the big hair,
no,
It's
you have
always going to be with me.
fantastic.
I love it.
I love your hair. I'm just glad that mine's growing back now. But it's
Yeah.
very like, yeah,
Yes,
it's true.
metal twisters. Sometimes, they do appear as orbs, lights, many different ways that spirit communicates with us. Yeah.
And
So go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I think I've talked about before in other places. My mom, for a long time, I knew she was around because I would smell weed. Because I don't smoke and no one would be in my house. But that was something at her end of life that she
Thank you,
used for
Michelle.
medical reasons. So that was an identifier I could not miss, because I'd be like, "Why am I smelling this? There's no one around." And sure enough, my mom was around me. That was her way of getting my attention. Now she messes with my electricity when she wants to, or she messes with Carrie. She does. She harasses Carrie. Because Carrie was like her first big connection. So my mom loves to tote that as like her, like that's like her bragging rights, I guess. And she was mad at Carrie for a little bit because Carrie wasn't tapping into her as much. Don't get my mama mad.
So the other thing we wanted to talk about is the way to ask questions. So what we're doing here is we're trying to set the foundation of how, when we do start doing more live card readings for people, that you understand that, we're not going to sit up here and do predictions. And there are proper ways to get the best reading. And that's how you ask the questions. Jill, I'm going to let you talk because I got a bubble.
That's okay. So we usually, so if you put in a question and it's very like, it's a yes, no, in other words, am I going to get this job? A lot of times, Deb and I will rephrase that question a good way to start a question is, what is in my highest and best? Or what is it I need to know right now? What is my block? And you can, like, not that you can't name a situation, what is my block for not moving on in my career? So that's a way to phrase a question, because we're asking your guides, our guides, your angels, to give you a message. So, and a lot of times, like, general is the way to go, because we have 100 questions in our heads all the time, right? So a lot of times I will just say, instead of asking one of my million questions, what is it that I need to know right now? What is in my highest and best? What is going to serve me the most right now? And one of my favorite ways to pull cards for myself is, what is my teacher today? What is it that I need to know? What is my lesson?
Yep. Most people want to know when their Prince Charming or their princess is going to arrive. A lot of love questions, a lot of work questions. So the best way to do that is with the how question. How can I move in that direction? What is it that I need to do to move forward? Or what is it that I need to let go of so that I can receive this? What is blocking me from receiving this? How can I remove this blockage to receive this? So think of the how, what, why, when, where, those words are really important when you're asking those questions. You want to be precise as possible. When am I going to meet the love of my life? What am I blocking that I have not met the love of my life?
And how can I call in love into my life?
How can I call love into my life? Exactly.
And lately I noticed just in other areas, April, the energy for this year has been kind of all about transition since like the beginning of January. And it's, a lot of the full moon readings I was doing was talking about changes and this, and it was picking up a lot of momentum in April. And I found a lot of people were asking me about May. So that's something else I'd like to just throw out there too, like being present in today, which is hard. I have to work on that sometimes, especially with a crazy work life balance schedule. I'm already looking at the next week, but trying to ask about questions now, like people were asking me about the energy for May, and I just kind of said, well, we have 10 more days of April left, so why don't we just kind of stay present in April? And so that's another thing that you might hear Deb and I redirect on. Like, we're kind of focusing on the now, not what's, because if I say give you a message for next month, you're going to spend the rest of this month worrying about the message for next month. And that's not what I want people to do. I feel like that doesn't serve them. I think it's trying to stay here in the
It's more
now.
prediction type thing. Yes.
Yeah. So I usually, I don't mind when May starts to say, what's the energy for March, right? I mean, May, going backwards in time, I'm time traveling. That's perfectly fine. Just, we don't like to jump ahead too much, for the most part.
Exactly.
So if anyone has any questions about how we do this work, feel free to put in the chat. And I think Deb and
open-ended questions are the best.
Yes, because that's part of like why we created this, is we wanted a place for people to come where they felt safe to ask questions. And there's no stupid, silly, whatever questions about anything metaphysical or what we do. We're here to help and give you answers and guidance. But I think Tuesday nights is where we landed. We do have another person that is part of this channel. Just unfortunately, she was unable to join us right now. Her name's Carrie. Yeah, and that's going to happen to me, and it's going to happen to Deb. It's life. So Carrie, hopefully you're going to see sooner than later too. We all kind of bring our own little flair to this little trifecta that we've created. But Tuesday nights at 8 right now, I think, is when you're going to always find us here live. Here's hoping that everything keeps going. That's kind of where we landed. So, hopefully if this time doesn't work for a lot of people, we would love to hear that feedback, because we would like to make it so that it works for, not just our schedule, but for all of our subscribers and the people that are interested in hearing more about what we do.
Absolutely. So ask away, people. What do we got here? Ask some questions. Bring the flair, Michelle says. Metal Twister says, Jilly, that is good to redirect to the present. Absolutely. Angela says, love the approach to the questions.
So, Metal Twister, how can I connect with an animal or pet? And that I think is for you, Deb. And for my friend Jonaside on the West Coast, it's a good time because he's off of work. And I know Mrs. Jonaside is sitting right next to him.
So, Debra Ann, how can one connect with animals and pets? So, are you asking how I connect, or how you could personally connect with an animal or pet? Because if it's you that's wanting to learn how to do that, it's a matter of it's just like working with people, really. It's connecting with the energy of the animal, the energy of what's going on in that dog's life, or I'm going to use a dog because I have 7 of them here that live with me. But it's reading their personalities. So when I connect with the animal, I get sent a picture. Sometimes I can connect without a picture, but most of the time, especially because most of them are email readings that I do for the pet readings, the person will send me a picture, a recent photo, if they're still alive, of the face with the eyes, or right before they had passed. And what happens is, you give evidence. There's always a message for the person who has requested that reading from the animal. So the animal will tell me like stories and things that were going on with them emotionally, physically. So it's tapping into all their different energetic systems. So it's a lot like Reiki, I guess. So the dog will show itself to me, and I will kind of read through the energy work, and messages just start coming through. So I connect that way with the dog, either that's living or in spirit. And I say dog because that's my life.
So why don't you explain what your
sense?
life is? We have a lot of pet lovers here, so.
Okay, so that did that answer your question, Metal Twister?
Deb, did I lose you? You still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I was looking to see if
he did say yes. He said
okay.
Yes. How do you connect? And he
All
said,
right,
thank
great.
you. Yes. Thank you.
You're
Metal
welcome.
Twister I actually think I did a reading for Metal Twister before I forget, I will be back on my friend Corey's channel on Thursday. I will be on the Bridge Cape Band again at 6:30 for more shenanigans. As we say, tarot, chocolate, and moonshine. It's been a lot of fun participating on his channel. Corey's a great guy. And I will just say the person you see on camera is who he is in real life. He is great. I'm just grateful that,
good.
Old childhood friend. And it was just by chance that I ended up on his channel. Look where it's gone. So my friend Michelle also has. So if anyone would like a quick card pull tonight, if you type in the chat that you'd like a card or a question, Deb and I will spend probably the next 15 minutes or so pulling a couple cards. And the other thing too is we would love feedback on topics for discussion, questions, anything you'd like to see in the future for future shows. Tonight we kind of just did this as like an introductory, kind of give a little bit more about what we do, but we would love to hear some feedback on some topics of discussion, so that way, just to provide information, guidance, do a Q&A, ask us anything. Oh, thank you. Yay, wash hands. Yeah, wash hands. Oh, thank you so much, Metal Twister. So yeah, if people want a card, just let us know. And yes, we would love to hear all feedback, so that way we can plan our future shows. Yes, and Meredith is lovely too. I've actually partied with Meredith and with Corey during our class reunion. The picture he has of us, he has her cropped out. But Meredith is awesome. Unfortunately, a lot of times, by the time we're done, I don't get to see her actually in person. She's usually in bed with Bubba by the time we get done live streaming. Seriously.
Yeah, so Metal Twister, let me know if how that goes with your practice with trying to communicate with the animals. Just remember, there goes Miss Willow. Just remember that, it's really, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. So if you're doing readings with people and you're able to tap into energy, then you should have no problem. I forced Jill into it a couple times. Like, you could do it, just try it. And she did wonderful.
Thank you. Well,
Wonderful.
that's usually what has to happen. Deb has to kind of push me into things, and then I'm fine. But no, it was interesting because I usually don't have a strong connection, and the fact that it really resonated, it definitely was very cool, and I was so glad I could do it.
Yeah.
So my friend Michelle has a question. Do you want me to take it, or do you want to do it?
I think we both should take it, since she's the only one that has asked. You can go first.
So her question is, what is something that is open to me right now that is in my best interest?
Oh, excellent.
So this is from Michelle. I gotta think. While you do that, I'm gonna think about what deck I want to use, because you know me, got my 100 decks. If you're from Corey's channel.
So I already have a card, so I'll just go. Coming apart. So what's in your highest and best interest here? What's something that's open to me right now that's in my highest and best interest? Coming apart. So the way I read cards is I look at the pictures and things start to jump out to me and speak to me, even the words. So right now, what I'm looking at is the two women. I'm not sure if you noticed that up at the top. Hopefully you can see that. And what I'm feeling is you're torn, right? You're torn between two things. And the thing that's happening is the awareness that you're becoming more of yourself. You have this new awareness of the things that you're not going to take anymore. I'll just put it like that. And it's not like you're tearing those two pieces of you apart. You're just separating what is not serving you anymore and what is serving you. And you're realizing this more and more each day. So for your highest and best, this is what's coming in. You are getting that clearer understanding of who you are and how you want to be perceived in this world. And the things that you will stand for will shine. The things that you will not stand for will move aside and fade away. You're realizing that you found this, like, I'm feeling like you found this new technique of letting go, that which does not serve you anymore. Yeah. So it's
That's
funny
awesome.
because one of my favorite things to like say is let the shit go. And as I look at this, there's like little crystals, purple crystals falling out. And it just reminded,
so we pooping crystals?
So she's shitting crystals. No, she's
turning cool into crystals.
But you're letting it go. You're letting the shit go. The stuff that does not serve you anymore. So good job. Keep releasing. Hopefully that makes sense to you.
So I also pulled the card for Michelle, but of course I always get two, and I did my life purpose deck.
Thank you, Michelle.
So the first card I got for you was trust. Trust your feelings and dreams to guide you on your career path. Your second one is family. Loving your friends and family is central to your purpose. So for family, we all know family does not mean blood related. Family means so much more than that. It is your friends, your loved ones, people that you have those connections with. So for change right now, loving your friends and family, like the people you really care about, nurture those relationships. The ones that are no longer serving you, maybe there are times where they need to be let go, or maybe you need to have some honest conversations because you do love these people. Or maybe it's just And it's funny because this card, hi Regina. This card, they're all in the woods, which I know you love to be in the woods. You were just in the woods the other day. And the other one is trust. And I'm just getting like your life purpose, trust your gut. You have great intuition. Go with that. If it doesn't feel right when it comes to making any changes in your life, don't do it. And, you know, she's holding up, it's like a ball of light. To me, that looks like a crystal ball. Like, you don't need to look in a crystal ball to see your future. You already have the answers, you know. And, you know, your dreams and the guide to your career path. Now, this, I already know that Michelle is writing her second book. So I just feel like this card is like, I am hearing like, trust the process. Just trust your gut. Don't second guess it. Like, just let that book pour out of you. And that will be kind of like that first round. And then you'll go back to it. So just trust yourself, especially with your writing. Don't second guess it. Just write it all down and don't judge it for now. Hope that helps. So something I wrote a note down that I wanted to do. Because on Corey's channel, it's like a running joke about how many card decks I have. So my good friend Deb, who's been doing this a lot longer than me, I warned her, approximately how many card decks do you own yourself? So that way I can report back, or my bridge buddies can, that I am not the only one that has more than one deck.
Well, right now, I probably have half of them, maybe less than half. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 decks with me right now. I do have like my go-tos. And then I have a few decks that I have I probably like 30 something decks. And I have tons of books too. Like I have more books than I have tarot cards and angel cards.
I think you're underestimating how many, because knowing you for as long as I have, I remember, because I have the weirdest memory. Don't ask me what I did yesterday, but I can remember the time when Deb got a big box of decks that she ordered. And there was at least 5 in there, because I was like, oh, I have that one. I have that one. Because we actually have a lot of the same card decks.
Yeah. And I think you sent me a few decks too.
I did send you, well, it's duplicate.
All right, like, so I probably have 50 decks, all right?
Yeah, it's about more right. I would say between 50 and 60 at least. Jill has 27 sitting on her table, just about genocide. Just about. But like I said before, some are collectibles, so they're on my bookshelves and stuff. But I get a lot of mine through deals. But that just was a little like nudge to my friends on the bridge, because it's like a running joke there about how many I have. And you should see the process of trying to decide what I'm going to bring there. And also the when I shuffle, Corey loves to make comments, and Christian will write wise ass remarks, which I crack up. He's like, I'm gonna go get my license renewed while Jill shuffles.
I would like to know what book Michelle wrote.
Oh, I have it. I think I told you about it. The Daydream Tarot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It was
excellent.
A great book.
Congratulations on your second book too, Michelle.
And my friend Keats is also, who's here, who's Pragmagic. He is also too an author.
Excellent.
I don't have his books in print, but so Keats is such a talented writer, and funny enough, he's written the forwards on a bunch of books, which I have a couple of those, and he's in the middle of a big project, which I've been privileged enough, because I'm one of his Patreon supporters, to be able to read chapters of that book and stuff. So Keats is a fantastic author. I love when he reads his chapters. There's a magic about it when because I love audiobooks anyways. When he reads his own writing, it's awesome. So Mrs.
Renee says, I've been feeling overwhelmed editing. Keep trying to get a scene right, and it keeps fighting me.
And Renee's another author too.
Yeah. So Renee, can I just dig into that a little bit?
I am going to let you, because she's a friend of mine, so I'm going to let you have this one.
Yeah. sorry, that's Miska. I don't even know if I want to pull a card. So honestly, what I'm feeling right now is, of course, you know, you're blocking yourself, but you have to step out of your comfort. You have to step out of your box. I feel like the scene, there was a twist that you wanted to do. I feel like there's a really big twist, but it doesn't flow with the story correctly. And what I'm getting is trust your gut on that one. I'm also feeling like, you know, it sometimes you need to just walk away from it. You're putting too much energy into it, which is confusing you. So I'm really feeling like it's time to walk away from it. Give yourself a breath, take a moment, release it all. And I'm also like, I know it's cold. If you're anywhere near Jill, it's cold
Oh,
here in
she's
North
on
Carolina
the
too.
West Coast. Renee's on the West Coast.
Okay, get your feet in the ocean is what I'm hearing. Get your feet in the ocean, pick up a stone, and just give it all. Give it all to that stone. Bring a crystal if you want, but definitely just give it all and then toss it in the ocean, and it's going to come back to you. It's going to flow right back to you. Okay? Let me know if that works for you. I just feel like it's one of this times that, you know, you're just putting way too much energy into it, trying to figure it out instead of letting it figure itself out, letting it show itself to you. So hopefully, Renee, Miss Jonaside, that makes sense.
And actually, just because I can't help myself, as Deb was talking, I got drawn to my self-care deck because it sounded like you need to let something go, or just more that self-care of like not beating yourself up. So let's see what comes up. I love that too, to just throw it in a stone in the ocean. I gotta remember that. Ooh, so for you, Mrs. Jonaside Renee, I got Be Still. So it kind of ties into what Deb was saying, right? You're trying, like, okay, so you're spending hours trying to do it. You need a break. Be still. Go to the ocean. Quiet your mind and let it all out. And then once you toss that stone, let yourself get quiet and really hear what comes through. Because we all know our intuition never is going to, that little voice never lies to us, right? When we get ourselves really quiet so we can hear. So the struggle that you're having, once you get rid of all the other stuff, it's going to come to you. The other card, because I thought it was only one, but of course it's two, was Dream Journal. So pay attention to your dreams. You know, I always say to
I was
everyone,
just getting that too, like her dreams. And I also got like draw.
Mm-hmm.
Draw it out instead of writing it out. Draw it out.
And I never remember my dreams. I rarely do these days, but I still always have something next to me, whether it's to type a note on my phone, which have done before, because if you remember your dream, there's a reason why you do, but it's cryptic, right? It's just like how spirit comes to us. They don't just talk like we do. They love to, it's all symbols and it's all kind of weird. So if you can write it down as soon as you wake up, it will make more sense to you as you go. But I think that's going to be important. Pay attention to your dreams, or set the intention before going to sleep that, you know, creativity and whatever it is that you're looking for comes to you while you're dreaming.
I love how this is an author's corner too, Michelle. All you authors, you know, maybe one of you can help me write my book.
Oh, Deb, I hope you write a book someday, and I better get at least a footnote or a paragraph in there somewhere. Oh, your dreams introduce you to your characters. That's awesome, Renee. So yeah, there's definitely something in your dreams that's going to come through, I think. So I believe Metal Twister's got a card, wants a card. Sorry, and I'm blind too. That's my other fun thing.
Okay, so he says, will you, Jill, and Deb pull a card to advise me how to continue with my writing or fantasy stories? I even stopped with a complete story and started a new one, and it is not working. Should I stop? That's a yes or no question.
Well, what does
We
your
don't
gut
answer
tell
those.
you?
But no, don't stop. Don't stop. Okay. It's coming. So keep writing them. Do you want me to pull a card?
Yeah.
I don't need to pull cards. It's kind of like for your entertainment. So what I'm getting honestly is, okay, don't let this overwhelm you. All right, don't be sad. Keep writing. It says sad embrace. Card number 45. I feel like the number 45 is significant for you. Let me know if that's true. But I feel like don't get yourselves overwhelmed with it, right? Any of you that are writing. My best advice and what I'm picking up for you, what is Metal Twister's name?
Oh, so we'll probably never know. They don't, so we'll only know their YouTube handles because
Okay,
some people
that's
choose
fine.
to not be
So
public.
anyways, Metal Twister, what I'm getting is just keep writing them. When you have, I feel like 5 or 6 of them, or maybe it's 4 to 5 stories or 45 stories, it's going to come together for you and it's going to make so much sense. So what is happening is your bits and pieces will all flow together soon. So trust the process, allow yourself to continue writing, even if it doesn't make sense to you at this moment. I feel like it's going to, and don't let yourself get sucked into the the worthlessness. All right, that is where your work is. That is where your true work is. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Who inside of me is feeling this? Do I need to release? How can I release this? And typically what will happen is there'll be images, there'll be a sensation of a story that happened in your life that will remind you of the story that you're writing.
I
Hopefully
I
that
keep
makes sense.
hearing series. Like I keep hearing it's a series. That's why it's like doesn't make sense because it's not just a book like Deb said. There's like a whole series. It's a whole fantasy series and you're getting it out of order, which I think is why it's not making sense. And I actually am pulling from my empowerment deck right now. Ooh, so this is a cool card for you, Metal Twister. Pilgrimage. You're on a journey to your own greatness. Your soul is longing to find the way. Only you can choose the path. This is awesome. And look, it's all kinds of animals leading the way. So when it comes to your writing, this is not just writing, it's a journey. It's almost like a journey through, it's like your imagination, but also just who you are. And it could be connected to past life experiences. Who knows? But like it's a pilgrimage, it's a journey you're going to go down. And your soul is helping you guide you write this book, whether you're aware of it or not. Your unconscious mind, the one that kind of rules us, but our ego kind of comes in and tries to trump them sometimes. Your unconscious mind is the one that's driving the bus. That's why it's kind of like all over the place. And so your soul wants to come through in this book. And you just have to choose and be open to allow all that to come in. Are you going to allow what your soul wants to tell you about this journey of writing this series come through? My head's tingling really bad too. This is going to be something amazing. And I can't wait till one day when you have it completed and we get to see the finished product. Oh, good. Makes sense. Thank you so much, Metal Twister. I'm so glad it does. So laughing.
All right, it's 8:55, Jill.
I was just going to say that it's just about 8 o'clock. So we're going to wrap stuff up. Unless someone in the next 30 seconds puts in that they want a card, Deb is going to pull a card for the collective to wrap this up tonight.
I love that we have so many writers and authors in this. 5:55 here. It's 8:55 here.
East Coast, West Coast, Mountain. Oh, I think Michelle's in Mountain time. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, Metal Twister.
Excellent.
Oh, so Angela would like a card. Do you want me to pull for Angela real fast, and she'll be the last one of the night, and then we can close out?
Sure.
So, Angela, you can have a card. If you have a question, let me know. I'm just looking quickly to see what deck I want to pull from.
All right. So as I was shuffling, a card pulled out. So I'm assuming it's for Angela.
Okay.
But you can read her a card too.
Yep.
So Gentle Garden. So what I'm getting here, it's just a general card that hopped out. So the message is a grandmotherly figure is watching over you. So whether you have your grandmother in spirit or not is not the question here, but there is this gentle woman, so I feel like she was really, so she's coming through. Sorry, Jill. Oh wow, we're getting
I'm gonna let you take this one. Angela, I'm handing you over to my good friend Deb.
So I feel like you guys were really, really connected. She was a force of nature, but with this heart that was so big, so generous. So I also feel like she was full body, not necessarily meaning she was a obese woman, but just that she was just a full body. Like she was just this big. Okay, she had big bosoms. I just feel like she wore house
okay.
coats. Like I just feel like she's that grandmotherly person that you could just walk in. She knew what was going on in your life, and you just sunk your head right into those bubbies, and you just let it all go, right? So that's the energy that I'm feeling right now, and my head is tingling, and she's just the pure love and joy that is coming from this woman. Not that she didn't have, she's telling me she's not that she didn't have like things that she, guidelines and her own rules, but you were special. You were special. You could get away with it, is what I'm getting. And hopefully that makes sense to you. But what she's telling me is the seeds that you have planted, they're all starting to come out. They're all starting to shine. There's also work for you to do with your inner child, because as those seeds start to come to fruition for you, that there's some tending to that you need to do. Okay, so there'll be this new awareness of who you are inside, and you'll recognize the things that are blocking you from moving forward. And I feel like this is something that you are already aware of, and working through. So just know that the things that you have put out there are now starting to come. They're starting to come towards you. So be ready to open receive them. All right. Hopefully that all made sense to you. Look in the comments now.
So CCAT put in quickly that they would like one, and that is a bridge buddy. So while you were doing Angela's, I pulled 2 cards for them and miss a reading. Okay, if my buddy Keats, I got to pull for my buddy Keats, and I know we're going a little bit longer than planned. So, I just pulled for CCAT. We got to do Pragmagic. My buddy Keats, he's working, so he's like in between. And actually,
okay,
Deb, I'm gonna
go
let you
for
pull.
it. Thank you, Angela.
So I'm gonna let you pull for Pragmagic. And I'm as I do CCAT. So for CCAT, I got the Angel of Balance and the Magician and the Mirror. So when I see the Angel of Balance, we're always struggling work-life balance, right? And I feel like this card was really, it was like a message, but the bigger message was the Magician in the Mirror. What is it that you are not allowing yourself to see? Because what does a magician do? Sleight of hand. It's all illusions. And what is in a mirror? When you look at a mirror, it like, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Are you seeing your true reflection of yourself, or is it the smoke and mirrors that the magician is coming forward, so you're not seeing your true self? And is it making it so that you're being too hard on yourself, or there's a lot of that negative self-talk, or you're just not having the confidence? It is all an illusion. The Angel of Balance is here to tell you, like, yes, good. We always are going through good, bad, up and down. The sands of time are always moving. But next time when you look in the mirror, can you look past the smoke and mirrors? Can you look past the magician to really see who you are and the magnificent person that you are, and not let all the tricks and the illusions from the magician get in the way? Hope that makes sense. Oh my God, that's so funny, Keats. I have. But Keats, you've grown so much. So Deborah's going to pull for you, Keats, and then we're going to wrap it up.
So who am I pulling for? And what is the question? Because I don't see it.
So it's Pragmagic. He just said, could he get a card? So just general, I believe, for him.
Okay. I think he took the card that you just read for him.
Oh, but that was for CCAT, I thought. Oh,
but he could take that. I think he took that.
So CCAT, did that make sense? So Keats, if you want a clarifying card from Deb, that's fine. See, that's the thing with the lag with the comments. YouTube hashtag learning curve. Oh, I love you, Keats. You're welcome.
All right. So why don't we do one for the collective then? Because that I think a lot of people. So the other thing is, if we're doing a card pull for somebody and you can take some of that message, please take it, because when we read for the collective, there's always a message for each one of us, even for Jill and myself. We can take something from it. There's always a message for each one of us. So if you feel like there was a message there for you, then absolutely, it's definitely for you.
That was so cool, because it was perfect timing for Keats to come in, right?
It was. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for the collective. We're going to kind of close it up here. We definitely want to thank each one of you for coming on and joining us and asking questions and helping us keep this live going. No accidents. All right. So we have education. And then we have talisman. All right, so collectively, what am I getting? I feel like collectively, I hate doing collective readings. Anyways,
it's for whoever here.
I love doing personal readings, but collectively, what these cards are telling me is that it's time for us to reflect on ourselves. Definitely, a lot of what we talked about today is reflecting in these cards. Just know, like, you are your talisman. Like, we don't need, like, I have my crystals, Jill has her 550 million card decks
and jewelry.
So we don't actually need all these. These are just tools. And I want everybody to really get to know yourselves. Like if I could give you any piece of advice, it would be really get to know yourself, who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you angry, why does it make you angry? And know that you are your own force of nature. You are the talisman, right? We don't need anything. This is just for our, you know, it's a safety net, right? It gives us something concrete to hold on to because we all have this fear that we're not enough. We all have this fear of being unworthiness. And these are things that we were taught throughout our whole life, right? Through education, through
Media.
parents, through grandparents, through teachers, so through so many different things, right? And it's really calling us to take that time to get to know ourselves and to know, and to know and trust that you are your own talisman. No matter where you go, you are bringing that energy. You are the force of nature. And hopefully that makes sense to all of you. But that is what I'm getting from these two beautiful cards. Trust yourself, know that you are worthy, that you are the talisman, and that the tools are fun, but you don't really need them. You just need to get to know yourself a little bit better. And that is all I have to say about that.
So because I love my little fun sweary decks. I have one called Inner Fucking Peace, and it's quick. And I just think as Deb was talking, I was just hearing like, loving and accepting ourselves, and we're perfect how we are, like all that stuff, accepting ourselves for who we are, and the education. Sometimes we just need to hear it. So I just decided to just quickly shuffle through, and I had 3 cards full out. This will be quick, and we're gonna have a couple swear words. Cultivate inner Buddha. Have a beautiful day. So in other words, inner peace, right? Just, it doesn't have to be Buddha, whoever it is. It's just more that what that represents in culture, not necessarily personally. Life is a jelly donut. Love jelly donuts, full of peace. Find your fucking center. I love jelly donuts. That's so bad for me.
And basically that is a great piggyback off of my card.
And the last one, tell that little douchebag voice to pipe down. Silence your inner fucking critic. And that is that. So in other words, tonight, what's the message? Self-love. We got it.
We got it.
All right. So thank you to everyone that came tonight. Remember to thumbs up our video, comment, share, all that fun stuff. Oh, cool. Thank you. I'm so glad everyone enjoyed it. We look forward to next week.
Yes, we do. See you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time. John Aside was the one that pointed out I needed to add that. And please feel free to comment on the video or on our community page with any questions or topics for discussion. So thank you,
Absolutely.
Deb. Much love to everyone in the chat. Till next time.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, guys.